How did that feel, running onto Lang Park? So I remember the first time you used to have the cage and you'd run outside the cage. And I remember the crowd not being very polite as we were running out. What was it like for you to run out of Lang Park?
A little bit more comfortable than that.
We had objects, and a lot of them were sort of bodily fluids and stuff. I was just flying everywhere.
And I do remember after a couple of those games, they put up a wire fence to stop things being thrown on the field, which used to amuse me a little bit, because we used to talk about how a lot of the people at Lang Park would whinge, moan, groan and complain about the price of a can of beer.
Oh, right. And then they'd
be quite prepared to throw them over the fence once the New South Wales team came onto the field. But it certainly was a bit of a backbone to have all of those people behind. But they were probably there then in hope as much as anything else. But I was always quite interested to feel how the New South Wales team felt about it, because Les Boyd at one stage, he used to say, they frightened the living daylights out of me. I thought no one could frighten the living daylights out of Les Boyd, but he used to say, the people up there, they've got two heads, and he said you're just very happy when you get off the field.
What a beauty.
Was it a direct challenge though? Did the coach ever mention that when they went onto the field?
Yeah, I remember Gus used to play out a lot of different scenarios. I remember going there one day, and the idea was going into a sort of a den of bikies, and you'd go in there to steal something, or I won't say what it was, but you go in there, and there was always a scenario of going in there and robbing you of something, and that's what it was like, going in there. And the thing was, we didn't have to beat you. From our mindset, we didn't have to beat you for a day. We just had to get in there for 80 minutes, get our prize and get out. Because I don't think anyone would imagine going there for too long and then, and getting the result if you had to be there for a whole day. But it was an amazing experience. I saw so much as a young kid there when I was sort of playing, and the times when I played against you, and just watch what happened in the crowd and watch what happened running out. But I always loved the ground. The ground was a great ground. I remember we used to use different footballs up there as well.
That's right.
They used to use Queensland footballs, which were a little bit sort of narrow, and they bounced different, but I love passing those footballs. They were awesome to pass.
Yeah, they went a bit further. They were Adidas footballs, I think, which started up there, which it got us into a little bit of trouble to start with, but we found pretty good. Mate, your favourite series, and
favourite series was 2000.
Yep.
The team that we had, football was changing at the time. We started to get Brian Fletchers and Ben Kennedys, and blokes who wide running back rowers who very much similar like the Gene Miles mode, but playing them in the back row. And Andrew Johns was at his best, and I think Brett Kamoy. I think Andrew Johns was playing hooker in that series. So that was an awesome side, and once again, it was part of that. Few times we actually felt unbeatable. You just ran out there and you just thought, here we go. And there was just such good players in your team. And that was a pleasure to be in that team.
Mate, there were a couple of Origin games which finished all square. It started an argument about what should have happened from there. Should it have been a replay, or should it have been extra time?
Well, I think in hindsight, it should have been extra time. That's where golden points are beauty. It's designed for somewhere like Start of Origin, where it should, the game's really got to get a result. I think, because you're only playing 3 games and people want to walk away with a result. There was times when there was one game in Queensland where I remember watching Jason Smith, and it was 8-all, and because you held the trophy the year before, they stopped playing. Instead of going for the field goal, or instead of trying to win the game, they stopped playing. That was a detriment to Origin. I didn't think that was, in the best interest of the game or Start of Origin. The way, I'd envisioned. It was win at all cost, and I found that was to get a draw to hold a trophy when it wasn't to win the game. So, I can live with them taking the trophy for another year, but I can't live with them saying they won that series. There was another time in 2002, I think, there was a draw, and they tried to win the game that day. I remember they missed a goal, I think, from the right-hand side to actually win the game. And I thought, they deserved that series, and you can take that series, but I thought the other one, they didn't want to win it.